What's your gut feeling about XRP's chances?
Ultimately, XRP's success depends on a few things.
What does this lawsuit actually mean for someone thinking about investing in XRP? What's the worst case scenario?
If the SEC wins,
The information provided in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Please consult a financial advisor before making any investment
Hey
decision.
everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on XRP. So you want to know if this altcoin is worth the risk. Honestly, even I'm kind of curious about this one. It's creating a lot of buzz, good and bad.
Yeah, XRP is definitely shaking things up. So we're going to break down all the important stuff, the exciting potential and the legal battles, and everything in between. That way you can make a good decision about it.
All right, so XRP is the native cryptocurrency of a Ripple network. And as you know, it's all about super fast and cheap international money transfers. What really got me interested, though, is Ripple's goal. They want to revolutionize how banks move money across borders. And they're not talking about small changes. They want to completely change the system.
Yeah, that's a key point. Ripple's not just trying to improve things a little, they want to change the whole game. And that's where XRP comes in. It acts as a bridge currency, almost like a universal translator for money. So this lets banks with different systems, ones that normally wouldn't be able to work together, transfer value without any problems. So to give you an idea of how this works, transactions on the Ripple network can cost less than a cent. Imagine sending money overseas for practically nothing, compared to what banks usually charge.
Exactly. And to show you the real-world potential, Ripple's already partnered with major institutions in Japan and the UK. So that adds legitimacy. You don't see that with every cryptocurrency. But it's also attracted some skepticism from the crypto community.
Really? Why is that? I thought partnerships would be a good thing.
It is in a lot of ways. But a lot of crypto enthusiasts really believe in decentralization. A system where no one is in control. And those partnerships, well, they raise questions about whether Ripple is really decentralized. Or are they moving towards a more traditional controlled model?
Huh, that's interesting. So you have this cutting-edge technology trying to work with the old financial system. There's got to be some friction there.
Exactly. And it makes XRP even more interesting as an investment. So let's look at the potential benefits. First, its speed is amazing. We're talking about transactions settled in seconds, not days like with traditional systems.
Right, and when you combine that speed with super low transaction fees, it's easy to see why people are interested.
Absolutely. Lower fees mean more people will use it. And more demand usually leads to higher prices. It's basic economics.
Okay, so cheaper, faster transactions. But where could XRP really make a difference? We hear a lot about remittances. Are there other uses?
Remittances are huge. Just imagine the impact of cutting fees for people sending money to their families overseas. But think bigger. Supply chain management micropayments for online content. XRP's speed and efficiency could change how value is transferred globally.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture, but let's talk practically. If someone wants to invest in XRP, how easy is it?
It's surprisingly easy. XRP is very liquid, and you can find it on tons of exchanges. You don't have to go through a lot of trouble to buy and sell, which makes it attractive for new investors.
All right, so we've covered the speed, low cost, and potential for disruption. Now let's talk about growth. Could XRP actually become a major player in finance? What are we talking about here?
The global digital payments market is growing incredibly fast, and XRP is in a good position to get a part of that. To put it in perspective, imagine XRP gets just 5% of the $10 trillion global remittance market. That's $500 billion flowing through XRP, which could drive serious demand and price increases. Even a small percentage of that market could mean huge gains for early investors.
Wow, those are some serious numbers. But let's be realistic. There are risks too, right? What's the big one everyone's talking about?
You're talking about the SEC lawsuit against Ripple, right? It's the elephant in the room. It creates a lot of uncertainty around XRP. Is it a security like the SEC claims, or is it something else? The answer has huge implications.
Okay, so explain it for us. What does this lawsuit actually mean for someone thinking about investing in XRP? What's the worst case scenario?
If the SEC wins, Ripple could face massive fines, and XRP could be delisted from major exchanges. That could cause its value to crash. We're talking about potentially serious losses for investors.
Okay, that's pretty scary. Besides the legal issues, are there other risks investors should know about?
We can't ignore how volatile the crypto world is. We've seen huge price swings in the past. Remember the massive sell-off in early 2021? That kind of roller coaster can be intimidating for new investors.
Volatility is definitely something to keep in mind. So given all of this, the potential rewards, the legal battles, the market swings, what's your gut feeling about XRP's chances? Are you optimistic, cautiously hopeful or somewhere in between?
Well, it's hard to say for sure. There's a lot of potential upside, but there's also a lot of risk and uncertainty. A lot depends on what happens with the SEC lawsuit. If it goes well, it could lead to wider acceptance and maybe huge price growth.
So are we just waiting till the lawsuit is over?
Kind of. But even if the legal issues are resolved, there's another thing to consider. Ripple needs to be able to navigate all the changing regulations. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to deal with cryptocurrencies, and those regulations could really impact XRP's future.
That makes sense. But Ripple isn't the only one doing this right. Are there other cryptocurrencies trying to do similar things?
You're right, there's a lot of competition. Stellar's a good example. It's trying to offer similar services to Ripple. Ultimately, XRP's success depends on a few things. Ripple needs to keep innovating secure, important partnerships and deliver on its promises.
Okay, so let's imagine for a second. Let's say XRP does overcome these obstacles, and it becomes the go-to solution for cross-border payments. What would that look like? Would traditional banks just disappear?
I don't think banks would disappear completely, but their role would definitely change. They would have to adapt and use this technology to stay competitive. Imagine banks using XRP in their systems, so they could offer almost instant and low-cost international transfers.
So instead of being replaced, they could use XRP to make their services better and attract more customers.
Exactly. It could be good for both sides. Banks would get the efficiency and cost savings of XRP, while customers enjoy faster and cheaper transactions.
That sounds good for customers, but wouldn't that mean banks giving up some control to a system where they're not in charge? That seems like a tough thing for them to accept.
That's where the resistance to decentralization comes in. Banks are used to being in control of the flow of money. Changing to a decentralized system like Ripple, it means changing their whole way of thinking.
It reminds me of how the internet changed traditional media. It didn't destroy the old ways, but it forced them to change and adapt.
That's a great comparison. The internet changed how we get information, and XRP could change how we move money. It's about efficiency, speed, and access.
Okay, so let's say banks do adapt and start using XRP. What about everyday people like us? Would we be paying for coffee with XRP?
Probably not. XRP is designed for cross-border payments. It's not really meant to replace cash or credit cards for daily transactions. Remember, it's a bridge currency. It helps transfer value between different currencies.
So it's more about improving the infrastructure of global finance rather than changing how we use money every day.
Exactly. Think of it as upgrading the plumbing of the financial system. XRP could make those pipes bigger and smoother, so money can flow more freely and efficiently across borders.
Okay, I get it. But even if I'm not using XRP to buy groceries, wouldn't those changes in the background still affect me?
Absolutely. Imagine sending money overseas being as easy and cheap as sending an email. That would open up amazing opportunities for businesses, individuals, and even whole economies.
It's incredible to think about the possibilities. We're talking about changing how global commerce works.
It's true. The implications are huge. Think about the cost of remittances for people in developing countries. Being able to send more money home to their families could really improve their lives.
That's a really important point. And it's not just about individuals, is it? Businesses could also benefit from faster, cheaper transactions.
Exactly. Imagine the impact on international trade. Businesses could save a lot of money on transaction fees, making them more competitive globally. It could be a huge boost to the whole world economy.
Okay, so we're talking about a more efficient, affordable, and accessible global financial system. But with all these potential benefits, there's still a lot of skepticism and uncertainty around XRP. Why is that?
Well, we're talking about a potential revolution in finance. And change is never easy. And of course, the SEC lawsuit creates a lot of doubt about XRP's future.
So even though the potential is huge, the path forward is still unclear. It's a classic case of high risk, high reward. What happens if things don't go XRP's way? Is all this innovation for nothing?
Not necessarily. Even if XRP doesn't take over the world, the technology behind it will probably still have a lasting impact. Other cryptocurrencies are coming up with similar goals, and innovation in this area is only going to speed up.
So it's not just about betting on one winner in the cryptocurrency race. It's about recognizing the power of blockchain technology.
Well said. Whether or not XRP becomes the leader in cross-border payments, it started an important conversation. It's making us rethink the limits of our current financial systems and explore new possibilities for a more efficient and fair future.
And that in itself is a big achievement. We've really explored XRP in depth, from the technical details to its potential global impact. But there's one more thing we need to talk about: regulation. Governments are still figuring out how to approach cryptocurrencies. and their decisions will have a major impact on XRP.
Yeah, regulation is the big unknown here. The crypto world is still pretty new, and governments are trying to figure out what to do with it. Their decisions could either help XRP grow faster, or they could stop it completely.
So it's not just about the technology, it's also about politics, and the rules can change really fast.
Exactly. What's allowed today might be banned tomorrow. So anyone involved with XRP, whether they're investors or developers, needs to stay up to date and be ready to adapt.
That's a good point for our listeners. This isn't a buy it and forget it kind of investment. You need to stay involved and informed.
I completely agree. Knowledge is power, especially in a fast-changing world like cryptocurrency.
Okay, we've talked about a lot today, from the technical details to the global impact and the whole regulation issue. I have to say I've learned a lot. But let's try to summarize everything for our listener. What are the key takeaways about XRP?
I think the biggest one is that XRP has a specific purpose. It's designed to solve a particular problem in finance. Fast and cheap cross-border payments. It's not trying to be like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's not trying to be a store of value or a platform for decentralized applications.
It's all about making it easier and cheaper to send money around the world, especially for people in small businesses who are hit hardest by those high fees.
Exactly. And if it works, the benefits are huge. Reducing the cost of remittances, boosting global trade, and giving people more financial freedom.
But it's not all perfect, right? There are some serious risks too.
There are. The SEC lawsuit is a big problem. It creates a lot of uncertainty. A bad outcome could be really bad for Ripple, and for anyone who is invested in XRP.
And we can't forget about market volatility. The crypto world is known for its crazy price swings, and XRP is no different.
That's why you have to be careful. Do your research, understand the risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Good advice. So for our listener who's heard all this and is still interested in XRP, where do they go from here?
If you're serious about investing, really dig into XRP and the Ripple network. Go to their website, read what the experts are saying, and get a good understanding of the technology and its potential.
And don't forget to keep up with the SEC lawsuit and any new regulations that could affect XRP.
Right. To make good decisions in this space, you need to keep learning and thinking critically. This deep dive has given you a good foundation, but your own research and analysis are key going forward.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into XRP. I think we've given our listener a good understanding of its potential, the risks, and how complicated it all is.
It's been great being here with you. And remember, this is just the start. The world of cryptocurrency is always changing, with new innovations and challenges all the time.
That's true. And on that note, we'll leave you with a final question to think about. If XRP does become the standard for cross-border payments, how could that change the traditional financial system? Could it lead to a more inclusive and fair financial world? Or would it just shift power from one group to another? We encourage you to keep thinking about these questions as the story of XRP continues to unfold. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.